This is North Coast Licks. I'm your host, Cody Slabaugh. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time checking out the show, little background is what we do with this is kind of highlight and take a look at the local music scene in Northeast Ohio and Northwest Pennsylvania. And earlier this week, I had an opportunity to sit down with an Ashtabula County band that goes by the name of Garot. And here's the first part of that interview for you. Now joining me on North Coast Licks, we have all the guys from Garot: Dave, Phil, John, and Brian. Guys, thanks so much for taking time. We actually had somebody travel up from Akron for this, so I really appreciate it. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. Thanks a lot, Cody. Doing pretty good, man.
Brian, you're the one that came up from Akron. How was that trip?
Traffic was pretty bad, man, but I made it here just in time.
Well, we definitely appreciate it. Got a chance to listen to the CD. Really liked it. We'll have some songs from that later on in the program. But first, let's get a little background about the band. How did you guys kind of get your start?
No, we started basically, I retired and the boys all play. I played and I said, let's get together and let's do an album. And we recorded one song, went pretty good, took a little break, and we just kept recording one song after another and finally finished it.
This all started in a spare bedroom.
Now, one thing that's really interesting, obviously, with you guys being family, you guys have all pretty much started out playing, instruments together, and now you got to put a CD together. What was that like?
It was pretty cool, man. I mean, growing up, we never really all got together to jam, and then all of a sudden we just got together and made a CD. It was really cool jamming with my brothers and my dad.
I was talking with your dad a little bit before we went on. I said it's got to be kind of special because I mean when you kind of, I'm assuming with Dad growing up, he played in bands, had the musical background, so you guys kind of all looked up to him, took after him. So it had to be kind of special for him to get an opportunity to go ahead and jam with you guys.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. Since I was 5, my dad has always had guitars laying around, and that's really why I think we all started playing.
Absolutely.
Now, are all the band members here?
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to start with Dave over here. Dave, what instrument do you play in the band?
Mostly guitar. I did some vocals on the album, filled in a few things, we had a lot of special guests too, but primarily guitar, and I did all the recording and really kind of helped finish out the songs. My dad brought in mostly riffs and lyrics, and I really helped, finish writing the music and get it all packaged up, at the end of the day. And
we have Dad Phil over here. What part do you take in the band?
I play rhythm and lead guitar, and I sang probably 7 of the songs, and Dave sang 2 of them. And we did, obviously, our choruses are all together, but I just did guitar and vocals.
And then Brian?
I played bass. I did a little bit of the backup vocals on there, but primarily just bass.
You obviously, you're the one that's supposed to look good in the band, correct? Got the long flowing hair.
I've got the hair.
I was asked if we could get the hair on air, so we can't show you, but we'll talk about it a little bit. And then we got John.
It's quite nice.
I played the drums on in the band, and my job was actually pretty easy. They pretty much did all the work, and they just called me and had me come and do a drum track, and I'd just make an appointment. Okay, show up and play, and see you later.
Now, I want to get into some individual questions just about your guys' background in playing. When did you all start playing your instrument? We'll start with Dave.
Like I said, Dad's had music stuff all over the house. I really started jamming with some neighborhood kids at a pretty young age, really, playing drums at about 5 and switching over to guitar around 8 or 9 or so. Had some local bands when I was a teenager. Had a punk band called AFO. That played around this area in Cleveland. Also had a metal band called My Great Escape. What I'm doing right now is a cover band called High Horse with Brian actually on bass, and a friend of ours, John Lewis, who has actually made a special appearance here on the CD. So that's really what I'm up to now and what I was up to back then too.
Phil, how about yourself? When did you get your start?
I started when I was about 13 years old in Wisconsin. A friend named Mark Bakarski taught me to play guitar. And from there, went in the Air Force and made it out to California in a metal band called Blind Saint. We did an EP out there. And once I got back to Cleveland, I had a cover band called Head First with a buddy of mine, Tom Tonkley, and Jim Moses. And then I took a long break until we started this.
Now, Phil, I got to stop you real quick before I get into Brian's background. You went from Wisconsin to California back to cold snow belt. How does that work out?
Well, when I was in the Air Force, I met my wife, Sandy, and she was from Ohio, so that's how we ended up back here.
Fair enough. Brian, when did you get your start in playing the bass?
Around the time I turned a teenager, 13, both my older brothers played, my dad played, and about time for me to join the group, so I picked up the only instrument left was bass. I jammed with friends growing up through high school. Never really had many bands, but like Dave said, I'm getting pretty serious now with High Horse, doing the cover band stuff. That's about it.
And John, obviously you were on the drums. When did you get your start, and when did you decide that you really loved making a lot of noise?
When I was 4, Dave actually had a drum set, and he taught me how to do a straight 4/4 beat, and then I never walked away from him again. And then Dave switched to guitar shortly after that, and I stuck with the drums, and we've been jamming together now for about 25 years, on and off. We also have a younger sister named Amanda, and she did some backup vocals on the CD also, and she wasn't able to make it tonight.
All right, and here is Garrett with Make a Stand on North Coast Licks 107.5 FM The Fox.